Hi, I'm James I. Bond, one of America's leading behavioral management specialists. In this video, I'm going to show you how products like Head and Shoulders shampoo, Chips Ahoy cookies, Holiday Inns, Footzyrolls, Snoop Dogg, Playboy Magazine, and more used a tool called anchoring to help transform their products into blockbusters, the same way you can too. Now, this is a simple way to boost your income without having to spend a fortune on advertising or marketing. I think it'll excite you at how much easier it suddenly makes it for you to promote whatever you're wanting to sell. Anchoring is basically connecting whatever you're selling to something that people already love, making it easy for them to love whatever you're selling. Now, for starters, if you can afford it, of course, having someone famous promoting your product, service, or idea could help boost your audience. But there's another way that requires almost no cost. It's connecting whatever you're offering to a thing that people already know and love that creates something called cognitive bias, which is a subjective perception. Now, let's look at two types of anchoring: full anchoring and bended anchoring. Okay, let's start with full anchoring. Okay, let's say you wanted to create a dandruff shampoo. And I know you know what I'm getting to on this, but I want you to think through the process on this. Okay, so let's say you're selling a dandruff shampoo. We all know that anyone with dandruff has pieces of dandruff showing up on their clothes that they're wearing and also on their shoulders. So what phrase relates to your head and your shoulders? Okay. We know we're talking about head and shoulder shampoo, but I want you to think through this, okay, for a second. Now, do you remember the fun kids song? Head and shoulders, knees and toes, eyes, ears, mouth and nose, okay? So if you're creating a dandruff shampoo, why not call it Head and Shoulders? Now, stealing the phrase from that awesome nursery rhyme helped Procter and Gamble turn their shampoo into a blockbuster. Now, it seems obvious today, but think about this. No one else in the dandruff shampoo industry ever considered this. Procter and Gamble basically attached their product to the nursery rhyme that people all, just about everybody, emotionally loved and love, I guess, still, triggering an instinctive positive emotion that made selling their product easier than most people realized. Okay, how about this? When Kemmons Wilson launched his hotel chain, he needed a name that he knew people would love. So they look at it and go, oh, look at that. Okay. Now, back then, right when he was launching his hotels, the movie Holiday Inn had just launched and had become hugely popular. So he stole the name and called his hotels, guess what? Holiday Inn, helping them become a blockbuster of success right from the start. Now, what I'm showing you here is if you can attach your product or service to something that people already emotionally love, you're triggering the emotion inside their brain where decisions are made. Okay, decisions tend to be made in the decision center of the brain is the emotional part of the brain. Okay, emotional parts, excuse me. Okay, now this seems easy, but I'm willing to bet that you haven't applied anchoring to whatever you're selling yet. Okay, the secret here is simple. People buy mostly, again, as I was saying, for emotional reasons. So if you can connect whatever you're selling to something that already triggers positive emotions, it'll suddenly be much easier to sell your product, service, or whatever you're trying to sell. Okay, so here, let me show you examples of bending anchoring so you can get a better understanding and idea of how anchoring works. When Nabisco launched the first chocolate chip cookie in stores, they wanted to let everyone know uh, what was so special about the product, that these cookies are the first cookies that have chocolate chips in them. So the word that was most important for them was chips. Okay, chips. Okay. Chocolate was another word. Chocolate chips cookies. Okay. So these are three words that are most important. So they were thinking about the word chips. And what's another word that sounds like chips? How about ships? And the phrase back then that was really popular was ship ahoy, which back then was it was popular because it let people know that a ship was coming close. Ship ahoy. Now calling their cookies Chips Ahoy emotionally connected connected it to a phrase that was already inside just about everyone's brain back then, making it familiar and comfortable and helping turn Chips Ahoy into a blockbuster, which is still massively successful today. I guess a blockbuster still today. Okay, how about this? When TV's Food Network wanted to create a show with chef Bobby Flay teaching viewers how to create awesome varieties of grilled food, in a nice food grill, he knew that he needed, Bobby Flay knew that he needed a name that would resonate with viewers. As we think of the word grill, so what else does it sound like? Grill sounds like girl, okay? And then what's a phrase that a lot of us know that goes with the word girl? How about boy meets girl? Hmm. Why not bend that a little and have him call his show Boy Meets Grill? That's exactly what he did. And that fun name helped turn the show and Bobby Flay into instant blockbusters by anchoring the name that's something positive that's already in just about everyone's brain. You get that? How about this? Two awesome women invented a ballet type slipper that rolls up into a bag that a woman can then easily fit into her purse. Okay. I mean, the issue is a lot of women end up having to wear high heels at work, but when they're leaving work and they have to walk down the street or whatever else, their feet hurt. And it would be nice if they could take their shoes off, put it into a bag, pull out from the bag this nice, comfortable shoes, and then put those shoes on so they can walk and have more comfort. So whenever you leave work, that's how or their product ended up becoming very successful. But they wanted a name that people can really relate to. So the name they came up with was Footzyrolls, having fun with the Tootsie Roll name. Now, sales skyrocketed so much and so fast that they became wealthy almost overnight, far beyond what they ever expected. And their shoes even got featured on the TV show Sex and the City without their making or having to pay a dime to get it promoted on the show, to get it on the show. It's just people on the show thought it was such a cool product that they actually showed it on the show. And that helped sell their products even more. Unfortunately, the owner of Tootsie Rolls decided to sue them, saying people would think these shoes were owned by the Tootsie Roll company. A ridiculous claim. Although the Tootsie Roll people would likely lose the case, the lawsuit cost the Footzyrolls, the two women that started Footzyrolls, it cost a fortune in legal costs. Now, I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not giving you legal advice, but be careful. Anchoring can help you get wealthy beyond what you ever expected, but be careful about how you use it. Still, what am I showing you here? A simple way to turn your product, your service, or your slogan into a blockbuster by anchoring it to something positive that's already inside your prospect's brain. Here's another example. When Ronald Reagan was president of the United States, the military told him they wanted to launch a new type of missile defense system to help protect us against foreign missile attacks. The problem, this was just after the Vietnam War, where millions of young people were aggressively protesting against the Vietnam War and war. Okay. So President Reagan realized announcing anything that had to do with war and military arms would probably attract an army of angry protesters. To solve this potential problem, they came up with an interesting idea. What if we could anchor it to something people already loved? Back then, the movie, guess what? Star Wars had just been launched, and just about everyone in America was positively blown away by how awesome Star Wars was, the movie. It was just incredible, of course. So why not anchor the title of the product that he was, the missile thing that he was launching, to something that he knew everybody already loved? The name people came up with was, guess what? The Star Wars Missile Defense System. And the rest, as they say, is history. By anchoring it to something just about everyone loved, it also became something most Americans were excited about. Okay, how about this? When American rapper Snoop Dogg connected with food star Martha Stewart, both their markets dramatically expanded. Not only did their partnership grab a ton of attention, suddenly Snoop Dogg was appearing on the cover of magazines like People magazine, while Martha Stewart started making a fortune promoting products like the cannabis industry and cannabis products and more. Okay. And see what happens when you anchor or connect whatever you're selling to something people already know. Hugh Hefner started a sexual revolution when he launched Playboy Magazine during a time when just about anything related to sex was deeply restricted. But his connecting his magazine to articles from famous authors, which he had in the magazine, and later promoting anti racism, which was starting to become really, really important. Um, and he even promoted people like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and others. That suddenly helped Playboy's relevance become higher than other people than people expected. So even as a joke, people would often say, "Well, I read Playboy magazine because of the articles." Okay, now I'm not promoting it, but I'm just saying, look at when you take uh, what you're selling and anchor it to something else that you know people love or consider very important, it can have a tremendous positive impact on whatever you're selling. So, how about you and whatever you're trying to sell? What would you love to connect your product, your service, your idea to? Something that prospects that you know that prospects already love that could help boost the impact of whatever you're selling. Anchoring could be a lot more valuable than you ever considered. And by the way, anchoring is just one of 14 brain triggers that I cover in my book, Brain Glue, that's blowing people's minds and changing how some of the most famous people on the planet are now using it. You might want to take a look at it also. Check it out at yesbrainglue.com and let me know what you think. Okay. And if you like this video, click the like, share, and subscribe buttons so you can get access to more of the videos that I'm creating to help you grow your business and income bigger and faster than you ever expected. For now, start with this. List what your product is or what it does, and put the words down related to what your product or service is and what it does. Then, what would you love to connect your product or service to that those words can relate to that your prospects already love? Applying this could help transform whatever you're selling into a blockbuster beyond what you ever expected. Try it and let me know how it worked. This could radically simplify how you sell easier than you ever expected. Enjoy.